Hi, Miss Monson's class, and my name is Josh Felder, and this is the story, The Hibernation Problem. Once there was a very little sleepy bear, and one day she was helping her mom get ready for hibernation. And when they went to their house, and they went in, all of their food was gone, and they saw a bunny eating their food, so they said, "Please stop." The bunny did. The end. Here's my version of the hibernation problem. High up on the mountain, Mount Rainier, lived a whole community of bears. Out of all the bears, there was one that went by Mama Bear. She was strong, wise, and getting to the end of her years. She stood 7 feet tall, 800 pounds, and every other bear adored her. She had the best home in all of Mount Rainier. The pine trees surrounded her, standing tall and swaying from side to side. Every morning Mama Bear was greeted by her bird friends who would sing to her every morning and fly around her. Throughout the day, many other animals greeted her, such as coyotes, deer, and even the littlest bunnies. There was hardly anyone who wasn't friends with Mama Bear. Even though Mama Bear was referred to as Mama by hundreds of bears, she only had one child of her own, a daughter named Little Bee, who was playful, caring, and would do anything for her mom. Little Bee spent hours upon hours playing with the fresh snowflakes that began to fall. When the snowflakes began to fall, the bears realized their time was soon. They would sleep for 4 months out of the year, so they had to prepare a winter's worth of food. This winter was like no other winter for Little Bee, as she had to take on an important task. Not only did she have to gather enough food for herself, she had to gather twice as much food to provide for her mama bear as well. Since Mama Bear was getting old, she could no longer gather food for herself. So she put the put it so she put her responsible daughter up to the job. At first, Little Bee was able to gather up a lot of food without problem. Every day she gathered her food in the same spot, keeping it under a nearby tree by their house. As weeks passed, the gathering of the food grew. Little Bee and Mama Bear started nearing hibernation. During the days when Little Bee was gone, Mama Bear's animal friends would visit her. There was a deer that would stop every morning and say hi, but the little bunny who stopped and talked for hours. The little bunny was named Stelia Food. She was a brown little bunny with a white tail. Wherever she went, she had a cheery voice and a curious personality. She was one of the most reclusive animals on Mount Rainier. Not many people would talk to her but Mama Bear. At sunrise, Stelia would come straight up to the den and talk to Mama Bear. She would always ask Mama about Little Bee, asking when she is going to gather food. Every day, Stelia would talk to Little Bee and Mama about hibernation, and it seemed to always leave right as Little Bee would. 2 weeks before hibernation, Stelia Food would not leave Mama Bear and Little Bee alone. As usual, Little Bee hunted and gathered all day to supply food, so the food continued to grow. One day, Little Bee finished a day's worth of hunting and come back for her food supply and noticed that it was all gone. She started crying to Mama Bear inside the den. Hours went by and the sunset went down, leaving Mount Rainier dark. Quickly and quietly, Little Bee crawled over to where the food used to be. Right under the tree, she saw Stelia Food eating all of their food that she had gathered. "Please stop," said Little Bee. Stelia realized that he had been caught and instantly regretted what he had done. She stopped eating the food and hopped away. Every morning until hibernation, Stelia would wake up extra early and find food and place them in piles for Little Bee to find. When Little Bee was working the next 2 weeks, she felt as if finding food came easier than ever before. After Little Bee's hard work paid off, Mama and Little Bee finally went to hibernation on a full stomach. Many cold winter nights had passed until the flowers started to bloom. After a long nap, Mama Bear and Little Bee opened their eyes and come out of their den. As they walked outside, Little Bee and Mama were surprised to find Stelia and her family with a picnic laid out for them to enjoy together. Mama and Little Bee were hesitant at first, but sat down and enjoyed the picnic with Celia and her family and forgave her for stealing their food. The end.